New York just banned millions of teens from using in-game chat. Here's what that actually changes. New York just became the first state to mandate age verification systems in video games, and the impact is immediate. Starting now, any player under 18 gets completely locked out of in-game chat features. Game publishers have to implement these verification systems or face penalties. This isn't just about reducing toxicity, it's a blanket communication ban. Players can still see the game world, but they can't talk to teammates, coaches, or friends through built-in chat. It's a massive shift in how the industry operates. No other state has gone this far yet, making New York ground zero for a potential nationwide regulatory wave. The real damage here hits competitive gaming directly. Junior esports programs and academy teams across New York are facing a wall. Imagine you're a high school Counter-Strike team trying to run a 5-on-5 scrim, and your players can't use in-game voice chat or callouts to coordinate strategy. That's the reality now. Coaches can't communicate real-time feedback during matches. Players can't call out enemy positions or execute coordinated plays. The backbone of competitive gaming just got severed. High school esports leagues in New York are scrambling. Some programs are already looking at moving matches to off hours or relocating teams entirely to avoid the law's reach. Others are considering external communication platforms like Discord, but that creates friction and inconsistency. The New York State Esports League, which governs competitive play for minors, is essentially operating with one hand tied behind its back. This isn't just inconvenient, it's crippling. Esports development depends on instant communication and team cohesion. Young players lose months of proper training. Academy pipelines that feed into professional teams get disrupted. And honestly, it puts New York youth at a competitive disadvantage compared to players in other states who can train normally. The long-term effect could be a brain drain of young talent leaving the state to pursue esports seriously elsewhere. Here's where it gets complicated. Major publishers like Activision and Riot Games have already pushed back hard, saying age verification systems are expensive to build, invasive to player privacy, and honestly pretty easy to work around. A teenager in New York can just use a parent's account, fake their birth date, or use a VPN to appear out of state. The real problem is enforcement. How does New York actually verify the age of someone playing from across the country? A kid in Pennsylvania could join a New York-based team's Discord and use that for coordination instead, which the law doesn't even address. And here's the bigger threat to the industry: if New York succeeds with this, California, Texas, and other major states could follow. You'd end up with a patchwork of different rules across the country, forcing publishers to either create region-locked versions of their games or implement massive compliance systems that cost millions. Some publishers are already exploring leaving the New York market entirely, which would devastate the state's gaming economy. The law was designed to protect kids from toxic chat, but the unintended consequences could fragment competitive gaming in ways nobody expected. So what happens now? Young gamers in New York aren't sitting idle. Teams are already pivoting to external communication platforms like Discord, where they can coordinate strategies outside the game client entirely. Some competitive organizations are quietly relocating their junior rosters to neighboring states to avoid the restrictions altogether. Parents are weighing whether the competitive opportunity is worth moving. But here's the real problem: this creates a two-tier system where New York youth are effectively locked out of mainstream competitive pathways that depend on in-game communication. Tournament organizers are watching closely because if this law survives legal challenges, other states will almost certainly follow. That means the industry faces a choice: fragment into regional compliance models, invest heavily in age verification tech that many argue is unreliable anyway, or push back in court. The precedent being set right now will determine whether gaming regulation becomes state-by-state chaos or something more unified. For young competitive gamers in New York, the next few months are critical, and honestly, the outcome is still completely up in the air.